All the insane winds from yesterday finally calmed down, and now we just got a nice slow rain. There's not much more satisfying than a beautiful slow soaker. The only thing that'd be more satisfying is if all the 24 crops are in the ground and they're all just soaking all this up and really starting to grow, but sadly only a very tiny bit of the 24 crop is in. But it's still early. So last fall for corn harvest, we ended up putting wet corn in both of our 2 bins up here, and these are all we have. You guys obviously know now we do not have a dryer. So the past few days we've been running the fans on these things because the air has been super dry and it's been relatively warm. Last fall and winter we ran the fans a little bit to get it frozen to store for the winter, but now we're trying to get it dry. I'm bringing a bucket up to see what our moisture's at and just take a quick gander at it. Well, it looks like it's settled down a little bit, maybe. Just grabbing it off the top is probably not the best way to actually check the moisture, but it's the only way I got. Oh, looks like my new shipment's here. My new toys. Well, we've been waiting a very, very long time for this shipment to show up. This has been a long in the makings. Well, they're here. The rippers for the large excavators are here. We ordered these back in January. We found a company down in Florida that would custom make them exactly how we wanted, and I think these are gonna work. As you guys saw in previous videos, we have a lot of rock and we have 2 large excavators for digging out rock, and I think these are gonna be awesome. I'm geeking out right now. This is so cool to me. They're heavy. Okay, well, what do you think? Let's bring these up and let's get them to work. I'm excited. So a quick shout out to the company that made these for us. I'm not paid to say this. I'm just super excited and geeking out about this, so I want to say it. JMA out of Florida. I think if you guys Google that, if you're interested, they will literally custom make any excavator attachment. They probably do other stuff too, however you want it. And they'll also make buckets, skeleton buckets, literally you name it. It's a welding shop, they'll make it, and they're actually way cheaper than the normal, what do you call, OEM or normal buckets? Way cheaper. Yeah, and this looks like a very built thing. They said that it's built for the machine that we're putting it on. We told them one machine's a 336 cat and the one's a 350 case. This is how we're gonna make them. We told them the measurements we want, that we wanted it so far to the tip of the tooth. We wanted so big of a gap here. We told them how many shanks we wanted. This is all just last fall when I was using the neighbors, just kind of what we kind of came up with that would work best for our operation and what we were going to put these to work for. I grabbed a sample of corn. I'm going to test that real quick. We finally broke down and got one of the fancy dancy elevator moisture testers. So when we're really curious on what our moisture actually is, we no longer have to go to the big guys. We can just go to our office. That doesn't sound very dry. Ooh.
We were both wrong.
I was 0.2 off, 16.8. Yeah, we still gotta run them fans for a while. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a quick rundown of why I'm geeking out about these rippers so much and how I think they're so exciting. 11 years ago, we used to have cattle, and in our area there's a lot of rock and a lot of native ground like I'm standing on. So we always had them cattle just grazing this native ground, and it worked out great for us. It worked. But now that we don't have cattle, we still have all this native ground that we need to do something with it. So that's where that ripper comes into play. All these rock out here, this ground that's never been farmed before, it's virgin ground, need to be picked. And if we actually get these rock picked in our area, wherever you have rock, you have good soils. You have good heavy soils that actually raise a crop and can produce. It's some of our best ground. Wherever we had rock, that's our best producing ground. I'm geeking out about that so much because I love to clean up land and just make it look, put it into production, grow awesome crops. So that's gonna make it way easier for all these rock projects that we have, and never ending rock. I mean, I'll be able to come in here with the excavator and just rake through this so nicely, and it'll be clean, ready for me to farm. So that's a quick rundown why I'm geeking out about these rippers. I've been waiting a very long time and I'm super excited for it because the old way that we used to pick rock was never any fun. So where I'm standing now with the excavator, obviously this field's already into production. This is right next to the farm. This used to be native not too long ago too. I believe in 2015 we broke this up and have been farming it ever since. But when we broke this up, we obviously did not have the equipment we have now, and it was not fun. So it didn't get the cleanest, and I was out here 2 days ago with the excavator, just using the bucket, and still, like, we've been farming it, but there's still a lot of rock out here. So I've just been using it to rake through some of these still rocky areas we've been farming over and make rock piles just with a bucket. That's where that rake is gonna work so good. I'll be able to go in and just rake through it. Not trying to pick through the dirt quite as bad. I think it'll fall through the teeth a little better than clearly just a plain bucket. That's why I'm so excited about it, because it's gonna clean this land up so much nicer, put it into production way quicker, have way less breakdowns because we're not farming. Like, I honestly don't know how we were farming over all of them. There's a lot of areas of our land that we broke up over the few years and that need a lot of work yet. So I'm gonna get that thing hooked up. And I'm gonna get it to work on this little rocky hill here. There we go! We got ourselves a rake! Let's go see what we can mess up. Oh my gosh, yes. It's like pulling a giant cultivator through the earth, and you find a rock and then you just get that sucker out of there. Well, I don't think you guys care too much about excavator work here, but I'm gonna geek out for a while on this hill and get it cleaned up and rake through real nice. So this is one that was just, when we broke it up, it was horrendous. Like, I was like pissed off at Dad that we broke this hill up because it was so bad. I'm like, Dad, we're never gonna pick all the rock that ever exists on this thing. But we did it-ish, and we've been farming over it, and it sucks, especially in soybeans when you're bringing them headers. When you're bringing them flex headers over it and you got all them rock, and you're just praying to Jesus that you don't grab one and really wreck some stuff or some guards or who knows what. So I'm gonna get this sucker cleaned up now for the first time in 10 years. Well, this is what we were afraid of when we were ordering these. They asked him if they would bend, and he promised us they wouldn't, and there's warranty if they did. That doesn't look very straight to me. And I wasn't in that aggressive a rock. It literally just bent right here, and none of these are all that big. So that is very discouraging. I hope they're gonna honor their warranty. Brandon came and took some pictures and is sending it off to him. That's very discouraging. I even just gave them a shout out. Now it almost looks bad for them. Hopefully they honor their year warranty, because that is already bent, and I just got started here. Like, these aren't even bad rock yet, and none of these are big. Well, as much as I don't want to, I better shut it down because I don't want to wreck it more, and we got to talk to the company and make sure we can get it figured out what's going on. How to reinforce it, how to make it better. So, guess I'm going home. Got to find something else to do for the day. Well, it's melting off rather quickly, but this doesn't help for planting corn. I think we had probably 2 inches last night, but it's almost gone already this morning. So, like I was saying, I believe in my last video, we were trying that new product, Rotel, that's supposed to help grab carbon out of the air and bring it into the soil. So the guys are out here now taking soil samples in all of our fields, seeing what our carbon is now and how our soils are, and then seeing what it's like at the end of the year after we treat all our seed, have the growing season, and whatever that all brings and entails. Let's go out here and see once if we can spy on them and find them and see how that little soil sampling machine works. I found them. I don't know if they want to be recorded though. We're gonna find out. He has to run that thing in the ground because the Rotel, it's a different soil sample or something. Normally he has this automated one that just takes him here and he drives around and goes right into the ground. But that one, he's got to use that like air hammer tool, and they're very precise in how they want it. He said it's got to be 11.8 inches into the ground minimum, and every 15 acres they got to take a sample. So in this 300-acre field, I think he said he was doing like 20 samples-ish. I don't know, glad I don't have his job, glad I'm just a farmer, but it's gonna be cool to see the results of the soil samples and the Rotel, and see if we are gonna be able to capture more carbon and get it into the soil. In this field right across the road that he's been soil sampling, I was talking to him, he said, it's been hard. I keep hitting bedrock the last sample I was in, I had to hit 3 different areas before I could get my 11 inches down because I keep hitting bedrock. I'm just like, no, we don't have bedrock. We just have a lot of rock. Yeah, this is one area here. I don't know if I shared this with you guys yet. I brought the excavator up here in order to dig out this one really big rock. Like, I think this sucker's like 7 feet across one way. Like this is not a small rock. I brought the excavator up here to dig up the one rock. That's all I saw. Yeah, the one rock. I found a lot more than just one rock after pulling the one up. You find one, and it's like you've been over fertilizing it and they had several babies that you didn't know about that's just under the soil a little bit.